Okay, I'm sorry you're interrupting me. I'm eating banana, so I'll return later, please. The banana has been eaten. My name is Darko Markovic, also known as Darmar, and today I want to talk a very important subject for me. It's called portfolio. I think this video will help every artist, designer who's young, old, has been in a company or is trying to get in the company. It will help him immensely. So let's start talking about the portfolio. No, not that one. Back brain. We are talking about our portfolio, not the models. Okay, since I have rested my brain and everything's working perfectly now, I want to talk about the portfolio. Portfolio is a very important piece of every artist, and many people neglect it. They rush it, they try to make it super fast and easy, but that doesn't always work, trust me on that. The portfolio needs to show the personality of somebody. So the first thing when somebody is making a portfolio, there is the first thing that he needs to think about. And that's, who am I?
No. Forgive me, my lord, for I was just saying a short...
What am I representing? So one piece that works for somebody else doesn't mean it will work for you. But the second thing that somebody needs to think about, which company am I applying to? So if you're trying to apply for a BMW, for example, as a car designer, or you're trying to work for Riot as an artist, then your portfolio must look like their style. Unfortunately, this is really bad, but it's the way it works. Companies always like to work with the clients that have the same style as their style. Because it's very logical if you think about it.
Barbie paid and dazzle car. I made it look like this. How?
No, unfortunately, I will never probably design for Barbie hairdressing, and I'm quite sad for that, but maybe I will design for something else one day. Your style needs to fit in their page, and it needs to look and resemble it. That's super important when you're thinking. The second thing is, how do we arrange the portfolio? I see a lot of times students and designers have a very high quality of work, but they tend to rush the portfolio. They take it and they do it in 1 or 2 days. This is super bad. Please, next time when you're trying to do a portfolio, try and do it in 5 to 7 days, because in 5 to 7 days there is a possibility you will see all the mistakes and rearrange it. One very important critic, ask somebody who has the experience how to do it. One of the best lessons that I learned while I was studying and learning how to make a portfolio, because if you didn't know, I made 365 portfolios in 2 years while I was trying to apply for the job. In that little experience I had, I learned a couple of things. First thing is the format. Don't do the small cutted out versions of the portfolio. They never work. They only look cool, but when you're sending them or shipping them or showing to anybody, they don't fit in the bags. And there is something about the A4 portfolio that everybody works in. So try to make it in A4. The second thing about it, it needs to have maximum 30 pages. I would never go over 30 pages because it doesn't work. There is just too much info happening and it's a huge problem for everybody, says a guy that has a book that has 404 pages instead of 200 like everybody told him.
This was a book I created all with my imagination.
When the portfolio has more than 30 pages, the brain gets scattered. I don't know if you ever had the possibility to analyze other people's portfolio and to manage them. I had that experience in Italy. It was a very strange experience where around the 16th portfolio, we had around 300 of them, my brain started to melt. Because if you calculate it, 16 multiplied with 20, that's around 220 pages. The brain doesn't have a capacity to go over it. So I have a huge respect for everybody who's doing it, because it takes a lot of time and effort and a brain power to do it. So the portfolio has to be between, let's say 20 pages, 15 actually, let's say. So the portfolio has to be between 15 and 30 pages. 30 is in the max spectrum, 15 is the least. In that pages, they need to be arranged good. Now, depending from what you are presenting, you have to put the things in that manner. If you want to be specifically speaking about industrial design needs to show your thinking. Many people get attracted to pretty photos, which is quite normal in our nature. But when an art director or a design manager is looking at something and he is seeing that your thinking process is good, he will accept you. If you know to draw, that's good. But doesn't mean anything because everybody can learn to draw. However, thinking, that's the thing where it becomes nice. Standing out of the crowd, super important, but how do you do it? Well, I can tell you one story that I know about and it's very fascinating to me and I remember it a long time ago, it's still stuck in my head. Ken Okuyama, if you don't know who's Ken Okuyama, he designed Ferrari Enzo, but before, he's a Japanese designer, but before he was accepted to the Ferrari to design the cars, he sent his portfolio. There was around 500 portfolios that year and Ken Okuyama's portfolio didn't have a single car in it. So why was this incredible move? He drew comic characters and characters from his imagination. He was already established as an art director, actually that's a design manager in car design, and he already knew what he was doing. He had experience, but what happens to many art directors, they lose their imagination. So when he will combine experience and the character comics he drew, Italian representatives saw the perfect opportunity to take him because he had both, and it made him stood out of the crowd. Not a single car in the portfolio. So that's one way to stand out. The second way is choosing appropriate colors. So the fourth trick would be choosing the colors that their managers like. There is something very fishy and funny about the colors, but when you know which colors somebody likes, it goes much faster and easier in any design studio because they are attracted to that color. Sometimes their brain doesn't even perceive the design but perceives colors, and that is the super important stuff. If you have some connections with that studio, try and see which portfolios were accepted. Very soon you will see the pattern and how it works. So that's a simple trick that you can use. And last, the fifth thing that you need to have in your portfolio, your best work needs to be in the first pages, in the middle, mediocre work or the bad, and on the end, the best. I would start with two best works on the portfolio and put the mediocre one. And if you think something is bad, I would just cut it out. However, you need to be sure that it's bad because sometimes some design that you think is bad turns out is quite good. That's where your peers come in, your family peers. If they're objective, ask them what they think, and that would be good. My name is Darko Markovic. Thank you for interrupting me with my banana. I hope I gave you advices about portfolio and I hope you will be making them really good after this.